Factor Uncensored. Who do you believe will win the next presidency? Former President Donald Trump or Vice President Kamala Harris? My next guest shared his pick with me, and he's been picking presidential winners for years and has it down to a science. He's been correct with the last 9 of the 10 presidential races. And joining us on the Factor Uncensored tonight, we have a very special guest from American University, history professor and presidential historian, Dr. Allan Lichtman. Glad to have you here on the Factor Uncensored. Now, you're known as the man who has correctly predicted 9 out of the last 10 presidential elections. Now, I think they stole Gore from you, because that was decided in the courts, the hanging chads, the Supreme Court. So actually, you should be 10 out of 10.
Thank you. I agree with that. And check out my report to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. It's still on their website that proves Gore should have won that election.
There you go. There you go. Now we're looking at Harris versus Trump. Your thoughts on who could win this and why?
Yes. My 13 keys to the White House, as we've now indicated, has been right since Reagan's election in April 1982, nearly 3 years ahead of time, when 60% of Americans said he was too old to run again, and his approval ratings were historically low. The keys: don't look at the pundits. They're my buddies, but they have no scientific basis for their opinions. It doesn't go by the polls, because polls are snapshots. They're abused as predictors by clerks like Nate Silver, who compile polls and then tell you Hillary Clinton has a 70 to 80% chance of winning in 2016, depending on the time of day you check in. And then he says, when she loses, see, I told you she had a 20% chance to lose. You know, it's meaningless. The keys are different. They tap into the structure of how American presidential elections really work. So they gauge things like midterm elections, incumbency, internal party contests, third party, short and long-term economy, policy change, social unrest, scandal, foreign and military failures and successes. And only 2 keys have anything to do with the candidates. And they ask whether the candidates are those once in a generation, broadly across the board appealing candidates like FDR and Reagan. And the way it works, if 5 or fewer keys turn against the White House party, they are predicted winners. And with only 4 keys turned against the White House party, my system predicts we are going to have a new path-breaking president, that Kamala Harris will become the first American woman president, at least cracking, if not shattering, the glass ceiling, and the first president of mixed African and East Asian descent, foreshadowing where America's going. We're rapidly becoming a majority-minority country. Old white guys like me are on the decline.